Alright guys, today is the day. We're finally going to build that growth chart after weeks of messing with all these different templates and jigs and everything just to make my router make these little straight lines on the ruler. We got it. So if you guys didn't see my last video, showed you how to make this. This is the baby that's going to do it. Of course there's other ones. If you've seen other videos, you can make them. But if you like this one, just keep watching. You'll see why it's my favorite. You also probably notice I'm wearing a jacket. Don't wear that very often here, but it's finally kind of cool here, you know. We're almost late January, was say the 20th or something. So it's finally kind of cold here. It was about 30 this morning. It's 46 now, but I can feel it in my hands. But I've never worked with gloves, so we're not going to do that because I don't want to try and chop any fingers off. Now, these things are super easy to make, but they're also super simple to mess up. So see, I saw a video saying that you want to start 6 inches up or something like that. And they were talking about from the baseboard up. So your first line would actually be a 7, 8, 9, 10, right? If you're going to start 6 inches up. My baseboard's only 3.5, so I could do a 4, but I don't want it that close to the bottom. So make sure you start, you're going to start at the bottom. Don't start halfway up. You see, like this is what I did. And another thing, make sure you're using a test piece to cut with, because you don't want to, just start using your template and cut into your finished piece, because then if you mess up, well, you gotta get another board. So essentially, it's gonna look like this when you start. Got your inch up and boom, 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 boom. So that's what I was doing. I'll make sure that my template worked and I got straight lines, and I also wanted to see how it would look. That way I don't run into this problem again. I got all this wasted space. Like, what am I gonna do with this? Because this is a 6-foot board, and that's what I want, is to go all the way up to 6 feet. And also, side note, if you're buying this wood, buy pine. It's the cheapest. Just get a little piece of common board just to play around with. And then I upgraded to this poplar. Kind of looks a little nicer. And, I just want this to look really good for my kids here. So keep following along, and you're going to see the finished product here. Let's get into it. Somewhere around there. Let's see if we're going to put it over here. That should give us enough room. Yep. So we're going to clamp this in so it'll hold our workpiece in. Next thing we need to do, we need to set the depth of our router. We should probably unplug that. I want mine to be about 1/4 inch up. So this wood is about 3/4 inch, this poplar is about 3/4 inch thick. And I want it to be, about 1/4 inch into it. And so you have to account for the little guide bushing I've got here. So that for my template that I can put my router in. And then you have to account for the thickness of the wood here. So when it goes through, it'll come out about 1/4 inch up. So let's place our template on here. Let's set our template up. And like I said, if we're going to start 6 inches up, my first cut's going to be a 7. Actually, I need to start here. 7, 8, 9. Yep. Okay. Go ahead and clamp this baby down. Alright, now that you got all your lines cut, all you're going to have to do is cut off this extra. Unless you want to leave it. You could do something with it if you want to put a little design or maybe your kid's name or something. But for me, I'm going to gut it flush just a little bit above that line there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our stencil, put it on here, so that way kind of avoid the overspray, and I'm going to spray paint in there because I want little black lines on mine. And I would route out the numbers, but I don't trust myself, so I'm just going to paint those also. And then sand that over, and then we'll go ahead and stain it up. And I was just going to put it on my miter, but of course, it ain't big enough, and I don't have a sliding one. I'll upgrade one of these days. So for now, I get to use my new toy, my new DeWalt 20-volt battery-powered one, because all I had was that cordless Ryobi. I love this thing, by the way, and it cuts things like butter. So here we go. Got my little guide set up. And while we're on the topic, I just wanted to point out, I love this little stand I have for my miter saw here. It's really cool because you just have these little bolts to put in so to hold it in place, right? You see here? Got adjustable legs. but really it's just these sliding rolling arms are so useful. And obviously, since I'm not using it for my miter right now, but it, you know, I was able to use it for my circle saw. And that way, because now I got clearance here, and I'm not gonna mess things up if I try to use my trusty workbench here, or if I hang off the edge I could, but then I have to get something else. So just want to throw it out there. If you guys don't have something like this, I know it's cool to make your own miter stand and things like that, but for me, I got the small garage, so I just pull everything out here and do it in the driveway, which works. So check this out. I'll put the link in the description below. Now, if you're going to do this, you should probably get like a little paint pen or maybe paintbrush, but I'm lazy and I happen to have paint, so I'm doing spray paint. So go ahead and put your stencils on, tape them up. Let's give this a whirl. Plus, you see how fast that is? And we're going to stain this, so if you mess up, it's okay. You're going to sand it, stain it, so you can correct it. A little bit of overspray won't kill no one. It won't ruin your project. And obviously, I was a little careless, but that's going to come off really easy. I'll have to do this by hand so I don't mess up that too, but otherwise, around the letters, or numbers I mean, not bad, but like I said, it's looking pretty good. We're getting there. You guys following along? All right, let's sand it up. Clean this thing up, make it look good. So whoever told me you can sand over the overspray, definitely never tried it, because look at all the sandpaper I used. It just was like eating it up, and it wasn't really sanding it properly. You can see that it's still there. But and then even my hook and latch, it like wasn't staying on the orbital sander, it just kept flying off. Tried to duct tape it because I needed something to work, and that wasn't working. Then I realized I had this little scrubber disc that I can attach to my drill here, and that really ate it up. Because you can see over here, look, I still have to do all this, but then with the sander disc, it didn't mess up my wood, and it got a lot better. And I'm gonna have to do by hand, but for the most part, that scrubber disc was a lot better choice. Alright guys, day 2 of working on our growth chart. It got late, it got cold, we actually got snow, we got like 4 inches. That was incredible, so of course we had to stop and play with that and stuff, and that's probably not much for a lot of you guys, but that was pretty historical for us. So anyways, so now I'm back to it, gotta go back to the sanding portion of it, and then we're gonna stain it up. So like I said, we've got this little attachment to my drill here, and I'm gonna show you what this does here, but it really does a great job. As you can see, I got quite a bit of overspray here, and in just a matter of seconds, we're going to get this off. The only thing I don't like about this is how kind of awkward it is when I'm holding the drill, so let's try this on my orbital sander. Not bad, and like I said, super smooth, it's not even damaging the wood. And since it's fairly windy, moved into the garage, but it's time to stain it now. And we're using this golden oak bare wood stain. Never used it before, but we're going to try it out now and see what happens. I'll give it a good shake. It's already been shaken. Ooh, I'm dripping it on here. We'll put that there and try it out. This looks rather thick and dark. Not as dark as I wanted it, but we'll see. Oh, it's okay. This looks like the color I wanted. Let me spread this out real quick because I dripped it everywhere. I know all you who are better at staining than me are probably having a heart attack right now. I usually like these foam brushes, but it is not coming out on this wood very good. I might go back to my rag. Nice, even strokes. And of course, once I get close to the end, I kind of figure out my groove where it works good if I kind of use the foam brush to brush it in a little bit. Alright, get it nice and covered, and then come back in with the rag and wipe it off. Which is what I traditionally do, so I don't know why I didn't think about it this time. I guess it was just these little grooves were throwing me off. I like to get a nice even coat and then dry it off. And that seems to work out pretty well for the most part. I mean, this is my first time making this, and it's definitely, I'm learning a lot from it, but I think it's coming out, good enough. Definitely not selling this one. It's going in the room for sure. Now here's something I'm curious about. What do you guys do on the end grain? If you're going to stain something, do you just not stain that part at all? Do you dab it? what works for you, because it always comes out darker for me. Even when I try to lightly do it and brush it off, it seems to come out darker for some reason. So if you guys have a great tip on staining the end of your piece, let me know, because I don't know what I'm doing. The good news is no one's going to see this. If you're over 6 foot and you're still using your growth chart, good for you. For me, I'm not even 6 foot. I don't know anyone who's going to see the top of this, so it's okay. Or the bottom, so it doesn't really matter. But, like I said, on other pieces, I don't know what to do on the end grain because it comes out way darker. And there you have it. She's complete. I think she looks pretty good. What do you guys think? So, if you guys are looking for an easy project you can get done in a day or two, this is good. Beginner friendly, easy, something to start with. And if you love using a router, this is a fun project to play with too. I'm definitely starting to enjoy that more and more often. And for those of you who are interested in my template I made, I've got this video here. I'm going to pin it up here on the screen, so I kind of give a little more detail showing you how I made it. But if there's something I missed or you have any questions, just drop a comment below or drop a comment on that video. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.